Welcome, you curious mind, to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today, we're taking a closer look, a real deep dive, into something called the Stellar Lite Challenge account. It's offered by FundNext. We've sifted through the details from our sources, and our goal really is to pull out the key nuggets so you can quickly get a handle on what this challenge is all about.
Exactly. There's so much financial info out there, it's easy to get lost. So understanding the core mechanics, the costs, what makes this one different, that's crucial.
Right. Avoid the overwhelm.
Yeah. And we'll definitely touch on a pretty surprising guarantee they offer.
Okay, let's jump right in. First things first, the structure. What kind of account sizes are we talking about with this Stellar Lite Challenge?
All right, so the accounts, they range from 5,000 US all the way up to 50,000 US.
Yeah.
But what's quite interesting, maybe even a bit fascinating, is how consistent the profit targets are across all these sizes.
Oh, consistent how?
Well, for phase one, the target is always 8%. Doesn't matter if it's the 5K or the 50K account.
Okay.
And then for phase two, it drops down to 4%. Again, consistent across the board.
It simplifies things, I suppose. Less variability to track.
It does. And one other key thing the source mentions, the drawdowns are balance-based.
Balance-based drawdowns. Okay, let's unpack that a little. For listeners maybe not super familiar with that specific term, what does balance-based mean in practice? How does that affect a trader?
Right, good question. It's an important distinction. Balance-based means your maximum allowed loss, your drawdown limit, is calculated from your initial starting balance.
Not from the highest point your account reaches.
Exactly. Not from the peak equity you might hit while trading.
Mhm.
So this generally gives you a bit more flexibility. If you, say, make a decent profit early on, your drawdown limit doesn't suddenly shrink relative to that new high watermark. It stays anchored to your original account balance.
Ah, I see. So potentially a bit more breathing room, strategically speaking.
Yeah, potentially. It can offer that.
Okay, that clarifies the risk side of it. Now, let's talk money. The financial commitment.
Yeah.
What about those refundable fees? What are we looking at for the different account sizes?
So the fees, they scale directly with the account size, as you'd expect. For the smallest, the $5,000 account, it's a $32 fee.
Okay.
Then for a $10,000 account, that goes up to $59. For $25,000, it's $139. And for the top tier, the $50,000 account, the refundable fee is $229.
Yeah. And these are explicitly stated as refundable, right? Assuming you pass the challenge, presumably.
Yes, that's the standard model. They are listed as refundable fees.
All right. Now, this brings us to something you mentioned earlier, something our source really highlighted as, well, unique. This no denial guaranteed rewards policy. That sounds quite bold. Can you elaborate on that? What exactly does that mean?
It is bold. And
Yeah.
honestly, it touches on a big theme in this prop firm space.
Yeah.
Trust and, reliability. The source material is very clear on this. It states, and I'm quoting loosely here, no denial guaranteed rewards get paid in 24 hours or repay $1,000 extra.
Wow. Okay, so wait. If they don't pay you out within 24 hours,
Then they owe you an extra $1,000 on top of the payout you were already due.
that's quite a commitment.
That's a significant commitment, yeah. It signals they're confident in their payment processing, their operations, and it's definitely designed to build trust to assure traders they'll get their earnings promptly. That's a major pain point sometimes.
No kidding. That's definitely something that stands out. So we've covered the structure, the balance-based drawdown, the fees, this really interesting guarantee. If you had to boil down the single most critical piece of advice from our source for someone considering this Stellar Lite Challenge, what would that be?
The one key takeaway, it's probably the simplest, but maybe the most important. The source absolutely hammers this home. Really read the rules.
Seriously.
Just read the rules.
Yep. It specifically mentions going through both the basic rules and the frequently asked questions about Stellar Lite account. Oh, no. The source calls this the only sure way to actually win the challenge. It all comes down to due diligence. Know what you're getting into, basically. The fine print matters.
Absolutely, like mapping the terrain before you start the hike, Understand the path, the potential pitfalls.
Makes perfect sense. So we've navigated the core aspects of the Stellar Lite Challenge structure, drawdowns, costs, and that very noteworthy payout guarantee. Understanding these specifics, it seems, is really key.
It really is. This deep dive just goes to show, even with things that seem straightforward on the surface, like a trading challenge, the details matter, the nuances, the guarantees. They can totally change your experience, and it makes you think, doesn't it? What other areas in life, maybe financial or otherwise, could benefit from really digging into the fine print like this? What surprising guarantees or, well, hidden catches might you find if you really looked closely?